All right, we wanted to get into the jersey retirement of a legendary Washington Redskin. Like, if you were going to make a Mount Rushmore of skins, this guy's face is certainly in the running, if not one of the four carved into the granite.
Oh, yeah, he has to be.
I think it's
He
got
has to be a top 4.
It's Daryl Green. He's
Yeah.
having his number 28 retired during the October 20th game. That's week 7 as the Carolina Panthers come to town.
I don't want to.
Kind of makes you wonder why it hadn't happened.
Well, they kind of had an unofficial way. I don't know. I'm certainly no expert on it, but they kind of had an unofficial way. They just wouldn't issue the jersey. That was kind of like their way of dealing with it.
Mm-hmm.
And remember, when Haskins wanted to wear Theismann 7, it wasn't retired, but they just hadn't given it to anyone.
Right.
And
Haskins basically, did he ask for Joe's blessing? I can't remember how that went.
Like, kind of did. Pressure was on. Joe was in an impossible position.
Sure. Yeah.
And Joe said, "Sure, be my guest, go for it." And of course, we know how that played out. Not great. So yeah, it's great. I guess you can get into a pickle when you start, when you have a limited numbers. But now the numbers have been expanded a little bit. Might be a little bit easier.
I think it's long past due. I mean, Daryl Green retired. He retired in 2002.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just 20-plus years since he's retired. I mean,
I suppose you could do something different. You could just do like the Cowboys do, like a Ring of Honor.
Right.
And that way you don't have to retire the number.
Mm-hmm.
And if you put them in a Ring of Honor, then you could still you have access to the numbers.
Yeah.
Because you do, if you start, there's a lot of guys that probably are worthy of having their numbers retired. Then you really start, cutting down on your options. I think that's one reason why maybe teams kind of shy away a little bit. But certainly worthy of it. He 100% is on your Mount Rushmore.
And I think it's the ownership group coming in and looking at, well, why isn't Daryl Green's number? Why have we not retired his jersey? Why have we not honored Darrell Green? Why hasn't that happened yet? And I think a lot of it stems back, obviously, to the Snyder regime. Like, a lot of guys just did not want to come back and be associated with Dan Snyder. Things ended acrimoniously under Dan Snyder. That was the case with B. Mitch. Like, B. Mitch did not have a good relationship with the team after, he obviously left and went and played for the Eagles and the Giants for one season.
It was very awkward for years.
I mean, I don't know the specifics of the Darrell Green situation, like what his relationship was like with the front office.
Well, I think that's
team,
the big problem is that there wasn't a great relationship.
Right.
With all these
And now
guys.
you're seeing steps by Harris and his group to make amends, like bring those guys back into the fold. They know that there's value to that, and that it's great nostalgia for the older fan base.
Also,
and it's the right thing to do.
It's just the right thing to do.
It's what you should be doing for the legendary players that have worn your uniform in the past.
Right. So,
and they're
do you
picking
have
a week.
the list of, I know Grant Danny did this bit yesterday, I saw on Twitter, the list of numbers that have been retired
by the organization?
Yeah.
I'd have to look
have
that up.
because it would be interesting to kind of postulate who might be next.
Well, Monk's definitely retired. Butts got to be retired, right? With Sonny.
I don't know that Butts' number is retired.
Oh, I thought it was.
If you know, then I take your word for it, but I didn't know that.
I don't know for a fact. I'm guess Sean Taylor's definitely is, right?
I don't know.
There you go. Sonny, Sean Taylor, Darrell Green, Charlie Taylor, Larry Brown, Riggo. We forgot about Riggo. Dave Butts and Art Monk.
No, I didn't forget because I just didn't want to guess. So who is?
Am I missing anybody?
Those are the ones that are officially retired. So it's a glaring.
That seems way more. I think those are the unofficial.
Those are unofficial?
This is the Commander's website.
Yeah.
It's talking about the Darrell Green article. Darrell Green. He joined Sonny, number 9, Bobby Mitchell, 49, Sammy Baugh, 33, and Sean Taylor is the only Washington players to receive the honor.
Art Monk's not retired?
No.
No, those are the numbers that they unofficially.
Okay, so they just
So they'll just hold them aside. Like,
right.
You can't have. You
All right,
can't
but
all
eventually,
those guys
but
that
eventually,
you mentioned,
eventually
Butts,
they will.
Monk, Riggo. Did you say Riggo? Riggo's not, right?
No.
Yeah, Riggo's got to be. He's got to be next.
Yeah.
I
would have thought Riggo was
I would
officially
think.
retired.
44 got to be.
If you're going to retire,
But see, also John is also an enigma too. He's a very interesting guy.
Yeah.
I like him, but he's a very guarded guy. He's a,
I think he was also outspoken too about the Commander's name. Like he kind of distanced himself. Like he's like, I was a Redskin. This Commander's thing, and I'm paraphrasing.
Right.
Like he basically didn't recognize this iteration of the franchise.
Yeah.
But like, if you're Harris, you call him in, you have dinner with him, say, look, you did amazing things here. Yeah, we just want to honor you.
I'm just telling you, John's a different guy. He doesn't care if you want to do the right thing.
He's an individual.
He's going to do it his way, whatever he wants to do. You know, so but I do think he would be number one.
Yeah.
I don't know if he would accept it. John's that kind of guy that he doesn't care what you want. Do you have an appearance fee? Then he might show up.
Hey, who doesn't like appearance fees?
I understand.
Yeah, but I would agree. I think he's got to be the next guy.
And then
I would think Art Monk is going to be retired too.
I would think Monk.
I assume if they're just holding them aside, eventually that means th're retiring their jerseys.
Well, they've been holding them aside for 30-some years.
Well, I know they took Darrell Green 22 years.
Another one that you might have to consider, Joe Jacoby at some point. Now he's after those other guys.
Yeah.
But that's another one that you might
We've
down
had
the road.
So many. Yeah. I mean, he's worthy. Certainly, I think Joe Jacoby is eventually going to get in the Hall of Fame. Somehow, by hook or by crook, some veterans committee, something, they're going to make that right.
Right.
Should retired numbers be for the elite of the elite? Joe Jacoby, I mean, he's not even in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, but he's going to get in the Hall of Fame.
No, Ring of Honor, all that, that's great. But you can't be retiring numbers of really good players.
I said it was lower on the
priority list. Yeah, but I think
Jacoby's
going to end up in the Hall of Fame.
Or Riggins.
I really think he's going to end up in the Hall of Fame.
I always lean on numbers. I don't even like retired numbers, honestly. But you have to be an all-timer to have your number retired.
Well, it's a
short list. Some of these teams you just give out you have 100.
I mean,
retired
Jacoby
numbers.
was like the anchor of the best offensive line, like of the '80s,
and he also was kind of like the prototype of the new huge offensive line.
Right.
You know, I think it. But I agree with Drab to an extent that you got to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
But I think Jacoby's going to get in the Hall of Fame. Like I wouldn't give it to Gary Clark. And I love me some Gary Clark. I wouldn't retire his
Ricky
number,
Sanders, but you love some Ricky Sanders.
I liked Gary Clark more than Ricky.
Sure.
I was more of a Gary Clark guy.
There should also be a timeline. 50 years, put the number back in circulation. Sammy Baugh.
Okay.
Well, that's like digging up a guy's
somebody
grave.
get offended.
Nobody remembers Sammy Baugh's number.
I think they should do.
You have to be a real old head to remember Sammy Baugh's number at this point.
Honestly,
you got to be 100.
They should do a Ring of Honor. I think it's so cool. I know they do that. Like they did that at RFK, right?
It's like a Washington D.C. sports like Ring of Honor type deal.
Park? No, they don't have any.
I don't think so.
Do they have it at FedEx Field? Do they have a Ring of Honor?
FedEx Field, now known as Commanders Field,
whatever it's
I believe
called.
has some. I think it might have transferred over there.
Right.
From RFK to FedEx.
And I think they have like broadcasters. That kind of my little fantasy is the Junks are up there eventually.
I did see it. Didn't Dave Johnson just go into the DC Sports Hall of Fame?
Yeah. I mean, we're Hall of Famers.
At some point, we might be DC Sports Hoffers.
Drab.
Possible.
Hall of Famers.
It's getting upset. It's getting ridiculous at this point. You guys are the Joe Jacobys of the DC Sports Hall of Fame.
What do you mean?
Disrespected.
You just get disrespected.
Do you agree with us?
Yes. No offense to the other guys on this list, but your impact in this community.
Who are some of the other guys on the list? Now, I'm not going to goof. Well, I might goof on some of them. Let's be honest.
I don't really.
No, you know what? You know what? I'm going to take the high road.
I'm not going to goof on anybody else.
Yeah, I don't want to.
I'm not goofing on anybody else.
You're just saying we deserve to be there as well.
I like how we made this about ourselves.
Can I say this humbly?
Sure.
We should be in the DC Sports Hall of Fame. Well, life is winding down here.
Let's
before we die. Can we
you know what?
I don't want to look at it that way.
We should ask the listeners: should the Junks be in the DC Sports Hall of Fame?
Well, I mean, I would hope.
This is self-serving audience, self-serving poll.
I would hope that our audience would say
800-636-1067. Throw some support our way. Make us feel better.
We're Hall of Famers.
Hoffers. You're Dennis Hoff. way different type of Hoffer.
He's in a different Hall of Fame.
He
died in the saddle.
He's
Cake.
no longer with us.
Yeah, according to Ron Jeremy, he died in the saddle.
Well, I wouldn't run around quoting Ron Jeremy as a source.
I mean,
these days.
he had an opinion. That was his
Oh,
opinion.
he had lots of opinions, I'm sure.
Yeah. No, I mean, like Harden and Weaver. I think they're in like the Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. I think our run is almost as
It's
long
approaching
as
a
Harden and Weaver's.
30-year
What
run.
do you get for the DC? You don't get like a gold blazer like the
don't think
Pro
you-
Football Hall of Famers
I don't
do.
think you get anything.
What are we near 28?
Yeah, I think it's year 28.
Yeah.
That's absurd.
You're
Yeah.
old. Hey, Bulletin,
28 years.
you're
Yeah.
an old codger.
I agree. I feel it every morning.
I am too. I don't know. I'm
But
just pointing to
28
you.
years in one market?
Yeah.
No,
Talk-
it's
Same 4 dudes?
Yeah.
Unheard of.
Yeah. It's a little bit disrespectful.
I just want to get paid like a Hall of Famer. Right? You can keep me out of the Hall of Fame. Just pay me like a Hall of
just
Famer.
get a Hall of Famer paycheck.
Yeah, that's what I want. I'd rather have that
That's
than
all.
be
I'm
be
with you.
inducted.
That's
The
what
thing is,
matters
if you don't,
more.
because the thing is, you got to be in the sort of like the cool kids club,
Yeah.
and we're not really in the cool kids club, so no one's gonna ever nominate us or anything.
Mm-mm.
We can't even get a friggin' Emmy for the best show.
I know. That's fine.
Hey, there could be allies that are on that board that nominate every year. I don't know. I
We don't
wouldn't know
really
who they
have-
are.
The truth is, we don't really have that many allies.
Probably true.
Other than like the people here, the inner
Right.
circle, CK.
Yeah.
CK, I'd say, was a huge ally
Certainly.
advocate. But other than Chris,
hey, you're a Hoffer. I'm
Huh?
looking at a Hoffer right here.
I'm treating myself like a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, we should. We're gonna go get fitted for jackets today.
I don't think they give you jackets.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just doing a bit with jackets.
Yeah, you get zippy.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
You guys would just complain so much though about the induction ceremony and having to go down to Nats Park.
No.
I would
Wouldn't
not.
complain at all. Here's why. We would just show up with our matching jackets, and then we'd have JP just go up and accept the speech and talk for 10 or 15
I
minutes.
know he would talk too much.
He would.
You don't.
They'd say, hey, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. He'd go for 25.
Right. All right, just tell JP, keep it short, 5 minutes.
Then
get
he'd
up
start
there.
talking about his book.
All right, I'm gonna bang out a couple of these real quick, Trav. You're not answering them. I'm just gonna answer them.
Unscreened calls, radio gold, perhaps.
He doesn't like when I do
No.
that, but
Doesn't like it one bit. But you're welcome to call us on the MGM National Harbor listener lines, 800-636-1067.
I'm always confused. There is some sort of radio museum in Bowie, of all
There it
places.
is. Yes, it's weird.
It's an old house that's a radio museum. I have no idea what it is. Let's go to Charles in Rehoboth Beach. Hey, Charles, what's up, buddy?
Hey, so yes, you guys are definitely going into the DC Radio Hall of Fame.
No.
No.
It's the
I grew
DC
up-
Sports Hall of Fame. Like-
That's what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
okay,
That's
got
what I'm
it.
talking about. Because I'm telling you, I grew up in Lanham listening to Harden and Weaver,
Right.
and for the past, since you guys have made it to the airwaves, whenever that was, 20-some years ago, I've been listening
Almost
to you,
30.
following you, and you're the best.
Can you nominate us?
Absolutely.
All right.
Charles, where
Well-
did you grew up in Atlanta? Where did you go to elementary and middle school?
I went to Lanham Elementary.
Lanham
Went to
Ele-
Goddard Junior,
That's
Goddard Junior High.
Robert Goddard. That's where I went.
High school.
Okay,
High school.
and high school Duval,
Duval.
Oh,
All right.
yeah.
73. Yep.
Oh,
Wow.
class of 73.
I don't even know if
Okay,
Duval's still
Dude,
there.
you better get a nomination in quick because your time's really limited.
Oh, my time is running short, man.
Yeah,
I
he's-
turned
So you're almost 70.
70.
Yeah.
I turned 70 in December. Yep, this coming
So
December.
you retired to the beach?
We retired to the beach, but then about 4 years ago, we built a house down in the Keys also.
Nice.
Rich.
you-
He's
Nice
rich,
job.
This
Great.
guy.
Nice
Nice.
job.
This guy's killing it.
Nice. All right, thank you, Charles. Appreciate it, buddy.
You bet. You guys keep doing it.
All right,
Man,
thank
what's
you,
it
pal.
like to What's it like to be rich and have not one but
two
two
homes?
two beach houses?
That's
Yeah,
pretty
He's got a
Rehoboth
nice.
Rehoboth beach house and a Key West beach house.
My
Kinda
beach,
jelly.
my beach house is at Cornell.
Yeah, it is.
Gone. Joe, what's up, buddy? You're on with the Junks.
Hey,
The Hall of Fame
hey,
Junks.
what's up, guys? Yeah, Hall of Famers, boys. But hey, I love you guys, man. I love the show. Every morning, you guys make my day a lot easier, a lot smoother. I love listening to y'all. Y'all are funny as hell. And yeah, you guys deserve to be in the Washington Hall of Fame. Come on, man. Like, who else? I mean, what else? You guys are the staple.
Thank you.
Do you have any power to nominate us?
Yeah, can you nominate us?
Oh no,
no one will
no.
nominate us.
I have no power at all. But I just saying,
Yeah.
for the common man, the everyday guy, the
Yeah,
working
we are the
hard
every
man,
man.
working.
That's
Yeah,
true.
dude.
Yeah.
Like you guys are amazing. Like, I mean, you make my morning
Thank you.
smooth. Like
Thank
you
you.
guys make getting in the car fun.
Thank you,
especially
Joe.
in this area where it's a nightmare driving around.
Yeah.
Like, you guys make it bearable, and I appreciate y'all.
Thank you. We
Thank you, Joe
appreciate
from
you.
Manassas.
Thank you, Joe.
Joe, just
God,
kind
I
no,
love you,
no
Joe.
problem.
My man Joe.
What is
Kind
it? What is the
y'all-
cliche cakes from your lips to God's ears?
I believe that's correct.
There
Yeah.
you go. Let's go to Charles. Charles, what's up? You're on with the Junks.
Hey, Junks, good morning.
Hey, Charles.
Hey, buddy. What do you
Hey,
think?
I've been with you guys forever since you guys were free. I actually did one of your contests, the hot food competition one time.
Nice.
Jeez, when was
Came
that?
in third.
That wasn't necessarily Hall of
Third.
Fame material,
You
but
got bronze. You're bragging about it 15 years later.
Hey, it's the highlight of my life.
Okay. All right.
nice.
I got to meet you all, and you guys have been around forever. I've been following you everywhere you go, so WTGC and everything. So there you go.
All right. Thank you, Charles. Appreciate it,
All
buddy.
right. Good luck on getting into it.
Thank you,
Man.
Charles. Appreciate that.
If it happens, it'll be when we're dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean, Cakes?
Yeah, I hear you. I get it.
Sounds like you guys are compilers.
All right. We're a bunch of Philip Rivers in here.
I mean, there is an element of that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you can't
I
go
know,
in
I
the
think
Hall of
you're
Fame.
right.
You're only if you're just a
Yeah, you
fleeting
can't be a-
shooting
Can't
star.
be a flash in the pan.
I think
Drab.
that's part of the deal
Gotta
of being
have
in the Hall of
staying
Fame,
power,
right?
longevity.
There's no Thurman
Like-
Munson's in there.
James Brown.
He deserves it.
Yeah, like that's a Hall of Fame. Or
He
DC
deserves it.
Broadcasting Hall of Fame.
Is he in?
Absolutely.
He deserves it.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's
He
in
deserves
already.
it.
Yeah.
Is Feinstein in?
Well deserved.
Feinstein's-
No, Christine Brennan is, I believe.
Feinstein's
that
not
probably rankles John Feinstein. Yeah.
I gotta.
Oh,
get
it
to
definitely
that.
does.
We can ask
Do you
him
know
on
why
Friday.
Do you know why he hates her?
I have no
I mean, he
idea.
goes
I don't
public.
know.
He's been talking about it for 20 years. So weird when you publicly trash a coworker. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's very weird.
Yeah, it's not great.
And it's like not tongue in cheek.
No, it's not.
Like we trash each other.
It's not in jest.
he-
but it's actually in jest.
Right.
Yeah, he's not hiding it.
No, no, it's legit.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll
Right.
figure it out. Anyway, just look out for the boys.
Yep.
That's all. That's all we're saying.
Just stump for us, nominate us, get us there at some point before, like you said, before we're dead.
Before the dirt nap.